Parents, if your teen is studying for the SAT and no matter what it is that they try, their score just isn't improving, you need to watch this video. For those of you guys who don't know me yet, my name is Jared Wynn. I'm the founder and director of Geometry Gurus SAT Prep. And at this point in my career, I've helped hundreds of students increase their SAT scores so that they can go to the dream colleges or qualify for scholarships. With that being said, let's get straight into it. A lot of your teens are not lazy, as in they're studying every single day, they're doing their practice exams every single week, but no matter what it is that they try, their score just isn't going up. And there's a reason for that. It's not their fault because you've been taught the wrong way to actually prepare for this exam for their entire lives, okay? Now, let me just tell you a story about a student of ours named Rasika, right, who went from a 1300 to a 1550 in less than 12 weeks, okay? So this is exactly what happened with her, and she's a very similar story to a lot of your teens at this point. She was stuck doing practice exams and the College Board Question Bank. She was using Khan Academy, YouTube, everything, right? And she was getting really frustrated because she was obviously putting in hundreds of hours of work every single week, but nothing was really moving for her. So this is how she would do her practice. She would look at a practice exam and she would understand, okay, hey, I got some of these questions wrong. And then what she would do is she would find thousands of problems and just blindly do a bunch of problems that look like that. But the problem with that is that that focus is too much on the what you got wrong and not the why she actually got it wrong. So even though she was practicing a lot of these things, she did not understand the core reason as to why she was making these mistakes. So obviously she wasn't actually hitting the underlying issue and she was not improving. She was also complaining to me. She was like, Jared, it seems like when I was doing these blue book exams, my weaknesses would change every single exam. Like it was not anything consistent. And that's why she was confused. She was like, I don't know what concepts I actually need to work on. It's like, yeah, because you might not have a conceptual issue. Now, what we did with her was the right way, okay? In which we figured out first, of course, what concepts that she got wrong, but then we needed to diagnose exactly why she got those things wrong. Realistically, family, there's only 3 reasons why you would ever get something wrong on the exam. Number 1 is a conceptual issue, like you just don't understand it, you never learned it before, or maybe you forgot it ever since you learned it in 8th or 9th grade. Second reason is you understand the problem, but you don't actually know how to finish the problem on time. Like they know how to do it if they had 5 minutes to do the problem, but they didn't have, they aren't able to finish the problem within 90 seconds, which is on average what you need for every single question on the SAT. The third reason is stress or fatigue. Now, for example, let's say you spent so much time on the beginning portion of the exam, and by the time you got to the end part of the exam, you're running out of time, you're making silly mistakes, you're not checking your work properly, right? And also you're just overall just very stressed out, you're making bad mistakes, right? On questions that you otherwise would have gotten correct without the stress. What we had to do with Rasika is that we actually needed to understand, okay, why are you actually making those mistakes? Because if we understand exactly why she's making these mistakes, it's gonna affect how we actually practice in her day-to-day. Like for example, let's say it's a conceptual issue. Obviously, she needs to relearn or, be taught the concepts from scratch all over again, right? Or if it's a timing issue, then we need to make sure that, hey, we go over the strategies in which you actually finish these problems within 90 seconds. Now, if it's a stress issue, that's an exposure thing, right? Like she needs to be exposed to more concepts, more things that look like that type of problem, so she's not so stressed out about it. The problem is a lot of students, right, is they never get this deep. They never understand if it's a strategy issue, they don't understand if it's a concept issue, and they don't understand if it's an exposure issue. What they try to do is they try to just bully the exam and just brute force an amount of problems to, just in hopes that they get better. But the problem is that's not very targeted. They're never going to get any better that way because, again, all they're working on is just the stuff that they got wrong. Most importantly, when you're diagnosing these issues, you got to take a look at not just the accuracy, you need to look at the timing of the problems as well. Let me give you an example so that I can really hammer this home for you. Let's say, for example, you got something correct on the exam, but then you also spent 5 minutes on this one problem. So a lot of students, they'll just look at that and they'll be like, oh yeah, I got it correct, I don't need to work on it. But if you spent 5 minutes on this problem, then reality is this a strength? No, this is a weakness because you actually don't know how to do it. On the contrary, let's say you got something wrong on the exam, But then the only reason why you got this wrong is because you only had 10 seconds to do that problem because you were spending so much time on this problem right here. So if you got it wrong, but you understand how to do it and you know how to do it with the strategy as well, and you only had 10 seconds to do it, and that's the only reason why you got it wrong, is this a weakness? No. This is most likely is a strength. So what I'm trying to show you and demonstrate you here is that it's not enough just to do 1,000 problems that look like the things that you're getting wrong. Okay, your team needs to understand why they're actually getting these things wrong. Again, is it wrong because it's a conceptual issue in which you need to relearn and maybe be taught the concepts again? Is it a timing issue in which you understand it but you don't know the strategies to actually finish it on time? Or is it a stress issue where you just you need some more exposure to this exam or more exposure to these types of questions? Most importantly as well, you need to understand what are hidden weaknesses and what are hidden strengths. Again, if you're getting it correct, but it took you 5 minutes to do, probably not a strength. On the contrary, you got it wrong, but you only have 10 seconds to do it, but you actually understand how to do the problem, again, that's a strength, not a weakness. All right, guys, that's pretty much all for today's video. If you have any questions on how to apply this to your team's unique learning situation, go ahead and contact me via DM or email. I'd be more than happy to point you in the right direction, no obligations. Until then, have a great rest of your day.